My name is Evelyn Harper. I am 72 years old, a retired schoolteacher from a small town in Ohio, and this is the story of how my only daughter Sophia and her husband Ethan tried to take everything from me: my money, my dignity, and almost my freedom. It's a long, painful story filled with heartbreak, anger, years of silent suffering, and finally, the most beautiful victory I have ever experienced. If you stay with me until the end, you'll understand why I now say that the day I stopped being their personal bank was the day I truly began to live. It all started on a warm Tuesday afternoon in early spring, 2 years ago. I had driven to Sophia's house with butterflies in my stomach and a big smile on my face. In my hands was a bottle of champagne I had bought especially for the occasion. I was finally going to ask when the wedding would be. Sophia and Ethan had been engaged for months, and I had spent so many nights dreaming about that day. I had already chosen a beautiful lavender dress, $180, more than I had spent on myself in years. I pictured myself walking her down the aisle, giving a tearful speech about my little girl, and dancing with her one last time before she started her new life. When I arrived, they were sitting in the cozy living room of the house I had helped them purchase. I had given them $12,000 for the down payment money from my savings, money my late husband George and I had set aside for emergencies. Ethan looked up from his phone, gave a small, almost smug smirk, and said casually, "Oh, Mom, we actually got married last Saturday." It was very private, just the really important people. Important people. Those two words felt like a bucket of ice water poured over my head. I stood frozen in their doorway, the champagne bottle suddenly feeling like it weighed 1,000 pounds. My heart pounded in my ears. Important people. Mitha, woman who had paid an extra $800 toward their mortgage every single month for 4 full years so they could afford the house. Me, who had paid their electricity bills when they forgot, bought groceries when Ethan was between jobs, covered Sophia's expensive dental work, paid for Ethan's truck repairs, contributed to their honeymoon flights, and even quietly sent $1,200 for the wedding dress Sophia had shown me pictures of while saying, "Mom, isn't it gorgeous? I feel like a princess." I wasn't important enough. Sophia couldn't even look me in the eye. Ethan stretched out comfortably on the leather couch. I had bought them as a Christmas gift 2 years earlier. I mumbled some weak congratulations, handed over the champagne like a complete fool, and drove home in stunned silence. The lavender dress hung uselessly in my closet, along with the matching shoes, the necklace I had planned to wear, and all my dreams of being part of my only daughter's most special day. That night, sitting alone at my kitchen table, the same table where I had balanced my budget month after month, to make sure they were comfortable, opened my banking app and, for the first time ever, added everything up properly. Mortgage supplement, $800 a month for 48 months equals $38,400. Groceries, utilities, and endless small emergencies. Roughly $400 a month equals $19,200. Down payment on their house, $12,000. Sophia's student loans I had completely paid off, $18,000. Ethan's truck repairs and payments, $6,500. Wedding dress, engagement ring contribution, honeymoon flights, $4,800. Furniture, appliances, birthday and holiday gifts, at least $8,000 more grand total. $106,900. Over $100,000, money that came from the life insurance policy George left me when he died of cancer 10 years ago. Money that was supposed to give me a comfortable retirement, maybe a small trip or two, peace and security in my later years. Instead, I had handed it all over to 2 grown adults who didn't think I was important enough to witness their vows. I didn't sleep at all that night. I sat there crying quietly, not just for the wedding I would never be part of, but for all the lonely birthdays when they were too busy to visit, all the holidays where I arrived with arms full of gifts and left feeling like an outsider, all the times I ate simple meals so they could have whatever they wanted. Exactly 7 days later, 1 week after that devastating moment, my phone rang. It was Sophia. Her voice was soft, sweet, with that familiar tremble she used when she needed something. "Mom, the mortgage is due in 3 days, and we got a late notice from the bank. Did you forget to send the extra money this month?" I was silent for what felt like forever. I could hear Ethan whispering in the background. Then I spoke, and my voice surprised me with its calm strength. "Sophia," I said, "didn't I hear that you only help important people?" There was a long, deep silence on the other end. Then stuttering excuses. "Mom? What do you mean? You've always been so important to us. Your family. You're like a second mom to Ethan, too." Family? The word tasted like poison. It was the same honeyed voice she had used for years when asking for the honeymoon money, the dress money, the just this one-time money that somehow became every month without fail. I simply hung up that night. I cried again, but these were different tears. angry tears that burned away years of quiet resentment. I cried for the naive woman I had been, the lonely mother who believed that if she gave enough money, her daughter would love her the way she deserved. I cried for George, who would have been devastated to see how his legacy was treated. The next morning, I woke up feeling different, stronger, clearer. I looked in the mirror and saw a woman who was done being invisible. I made my usual coffee, but this time I didn't rush to check my phone for messages from Sophia. I sat down and calculated the total again, $106,900, and printed every single bank statement, every transfer record, every receipt, evidence of my generosity and now my resolve. Then I drove to the bank. Mrs. Carter, the branch manager who had known me for over 30 years, had processed every one of those transfers. When I told her to cancel all automatic payments and remove Sophia and Ethan from any access to my accounts, she looked at me for a long moment and then smiled softly. "Evelyn, I've watched this for years. I've been waiting for the day you'd do this. I'm truly proud of you." As I walked out of the bank, my phone exploded with calls and texts. "Sophia, Ethan. Sophia again. Mom, please answer. We need to talk urgently. This is serious." I turned the phone completely off. That afternoon, I did something I hadn't done in years. I went for a long walk, just for myself. No errands for them, no rushing to the bank or store because they needed something. I walked past the elementary school where I taught for decades, past the park where I used to push Sophia on the swings and read her stories. I remembered the little girl who would run into my arms after school saying, "Mommy, you're the best mommy in the whole world." When did that little girl turn into a woman who saw her mother only as an endless source of money? When I returned home, my heart stopped. There were 2 cars parked in my driveways, SUV, and one I didn't recognize. They had a spare key. I had given it to them years ago in case of emergency, because I trusted them. Because I thought one day they would take care of me the way I had always taken care of them. I took a deep breath and opened the door inside. Sophia was pacing nervously. Ethan was sitting at my dining table, openly going through my mail and personal bank statements. A woman in a professional suit stood nearby holding a thick folder. "What in God's name is going on here?" I demanded, my voice shaking with anger. They all turned. Sophia immediately rushed toward me with tears already streaming down her face. "Mom, thank God you're here. We've been so worried about you. This is Ms. Lawson-Cheese, a lawyer who specializes in elder care and family matters. We think you might need some help managing things right now." Ms. Lawson stepped forward with a calm, practiced smile. "Mrs. Harper, your daughter and son-in-law have expressed serious concerns about recent changes in your behavior, sudden large financial decisions. Increased isolation, possible signs of confusion. We'd like to discuss arranging a temporary power of attorney, just to make sure everything is handled properly for your own protection." Of course. I looked at Ethan casually flipping through my private financial papers. I looked at Sophia's perfectly timed tears, and in that instant, everything became crystal clear. This wasn't concern. This was an attempted takeover. I walked straight to the dining table, took my personal papers out of Ethan's hands, and said in a voice calmer than I felt, "Get out of my house. All 3 of you. Right now?" Ethan stood up quickly, his face turning red. "Mom, you can't just cut us off like this. We have bills, the mortgage on the house you helped us buy, the cars you co-signed for, the credit cards we're still paying off, the credit cards you maxed out on vacations, clothes, and gadgets." I interrupted. "Those are your responsibility now." Sophia's sobs grew louder, more dramatic. "Mom, please, you're not thinking clearly. You've always taken care of us. This sudden change, it isn't like you. We're scared for you." "No," I replied, feeling a strength I didn't know I had. "This is the real me, the one who has finally opened her eyes and sees you for exactly who you are." Ms. Lawson tried her professional, reasonable tone. "Mrs. Harper, families have legal options when they believe a loved one may no longer be competent to manage their own affairs." "Then pursue those options," I cut in sharply. "With your own money? Because mine is no longer available to fund your lifestyle or your legal games." They left after more protests, but not before Ethan muttered under his breath, "This isn't over, Mom. One day you'll need us, and we might not be there." I locked the door behind them, leaned against it, and for the first time in years, the silence in my house felt like true peace instead of loneliness. That night, sleep didn't come easily, not from fear, but from a surge of adrenaline and determination. I knew this was far from over. If they were willing to bring a lawyer into my home uninvited and go through my private papers, they would go much further the very next morning. I called Anna Riley-Ann, old friend from my teaching days whose sister had become a respected lawyer specializing in elder law after their own mother was financially exploited by family. I told Anna everything: the secret wedding, the $106,900, the invasion of my home. She listened without interruption, then said firmly, "Evelyn, What they did yesterday is classic elder financial abuse. Trespassing. Reviewing private documents without consent, it's illegal. We are going to protect you every step of the way. Together, we created a complete plan. Change every lock on the house. Install a full security camera system. Transfer all money to new accounts at a different bank with no access for them. Update my will to protect my assets. And document every single dollar I had ever given them. Over the following days, I executed the plan perfectly. Professional locksmith, new high-security locks. Security company cameras inside and out that sent live footage straight to my phone and the cloud. New bank accounts opened across town. And for the first time in years, I spent money freely on myself. A new set of gardening tools. A full day at the salon getting my hair and nails done. A lovely dinner at my favorite restaurant, just because I deserved it. Sophia and Ethan kept trying to reach me calling from unknown numbers. Leaving voicemails that started sweet, turned angry, then became pleading and manipulative. Ethan sent texts threatening to tell the whole family how I was abandoning them in their time of need. I blocked every number that came through. Then, one ordinary afternoon about 3 weeks later, a woman knocked on my door holding official identification. "Mrs. Harper, I'm Ms. Ramirez from Adult Protective Services. We've received an anonymous report expressing concern for your well-being. Sudden major financial changes. Increased isolation, installation of extensive security systems interpreted as possible paranoia, and refusal to communicate with close family. I need to conduct a wellness check." My stomach dropped. They had escalated to involving the government. I invited her in, but immediately called Anna. She arrived within 30 minutes. Just as Ms. Ramirez was beginning her questions, Anna laid our thick folder of evidence. On the coffee table, the complete record of $106,900 in transfers over 4 years. Social media screenshots of the wedding photos showing Ethan's family but not me. Camera footage of the uninvited lawyer visit. Threatening texts from Ethan. Ms. Ramirez reviewed everything carefully. She asked me direct questions about daily living. Do I pay my own bills on time? Yes. Do I cook, clean, shop, and drive independently? Every single day do I manage my medications and doctor visits? Perfectly records available. Do I understand my current finances? I walked her through my new statements, pension deposits, and balanced budget. After nearly an hour, she closed her notebook. "Mrs. Harper, I observe no signs of self-neglect, incapacity, or vulnerability. You are clearly competent, independent, and making rational decisions. I am closing this referral immediately." When she left, Anna looked at me seriously. "Evelyn, they're getting desperate. When the money truly stops, people like this fight very dirty. Be prepared, this will escalate further." She was absolutely right. In the weeks that followed, the harassment intensified in ways I never imagined possible from my own daughter. Sophia's SUV began driving slowly past my house, multiple times a day, sometimes 2 or 3 passes, sometimes parking across the street for long periods just watching. The cameras captured everything. I logged date, time, and license plate religiously for Anna. Mysterious letters started arriving, official-looking envelopes from lawyers I had never heard of, offering free consultations for estate planning and subtly suggesting I might need protection from undue outside influence one day. A man showed up claiming to be from my home insurance company, wanting to review my policy for senior discounts. The cameras clearly recorded him walking around the house taking photographs. Anna reported it as stalking and harassment. But the most terrifying moment came on a cold, rainy Thursday morning. The doorbell rang. On the camera feed, a young woman in professional attire holding a clipboard and wearing a court badge. "Mrs. Harper, I'm Lisa Morgan from the County Probate Court. Your daughter has filed a formal petition, expressing concern about your capacity to manage your own affairs. I'm here to conduct a preliminary guardianship evaluation." My blood ran cold. They were trying to have me legally declared incompetent so they could seize control of my house. My savings, my pension, everything. I let her in, but immediately called Anna, who arrived with a guardianship defense specialist within minutes. Lisa Morgan went through standard cognitive tests, orientation to time and place, memory recall, simple math, drawing a clock face. I passed every one with flying colors. Then came questions about family relationships. I told the full truth. The secret wedding exclusion while living off my money, the home invasion with the lawyer, the systematic financial drain of $106,900. Anna presented our complete documentation. After reviewing it for a long time, Lisa Morgan said, "This appears to be a highly contested family financial matter, with clear monetary motivation on the petitioner's side. I am recommending an independent psychiatric evaluation and a full court hearing." That meant an actual trial for my freedom and autonomy. The next several months were emotionally exhausting, but also the clearest and most purposeful time of my life. Anna arranged for me to be evaluated by Dr. Eleanor Hayes, one of the most respected geriatric psychiatrists in the state. We spent nearly 3 full hours together, memory tests, reasoning exercises, emotional health assessment, financial decision-making scenarios. At the end, Dr. Hayes said warmly, "Mrs. Harper, you are not only fully competent, your cognitive scores are in the top 10% for women your age. There is absolutely no medical basis for this petition." We gathered powerful witnesses, Mrs. Carter from the bank, testifying to years of voluntary transfers followed by my recent, completely rational decision to stop them. The locksmith and security installer, confirming I was sharp, organized, and very clear about why I needed protection. Longtime neighbors who saw me shopping, driving, socially active, perfectly independent. My personal physician, submitting records showing excellent physical and mental health. Meanwhile, Sophia and Ethan were desperately building a case based entirely on lies and manipulation. They found a grumpy neighbor who disliked me because my roses sometimes grew over the fence. He claimed I was talking to myself in the yard and acting. Strangely, I was using wireless earbuds. For phone calls, they obtained a statement from my old pharmacy, suggesting irregular medication patterns. I had simply switched to cheaper generics at a different store. They even paid for a psychiatric opinion from a doctor who had never once examined me, claiming my sudden isolation and financial paranoia indicated cognitive decline. But their main witness was Sophia herself. The trial finally arrived 6 months after that first humiliating confrontation. I wore the lavender dress, the one I had bought for the wedding. That never included me. Anna drove me to the courthouse. In the hallway, I saw them, Sophia in a modest outfit with perfectly rehearsed tears, ready, Ethan in an ill-fitting suit, their expensive lawyer whispering strategy. The judge was the Honorable Patricia Gomez. Known for seeing through manipulative family cases involving elders, their lawyer opened dramatically. "Your Honor, Mrs. Evelyn Harper has suffered a tragic and rapid mental decline. Once a loving, generous mother, she has become paranoid, isolated, and irrational, suddenly cutting off her devoted family without cause, installing fortress-like security, refusing all contact. We seek guardianship only to protect her from herself and potential exploitation." Then Sophia took the stand. She cried beautifully, voice breaking. "Mommy has always been my everything, my rock after Daddy died. She spoiled me, supported me. But lately, she's changed completely. She accuses us of using her. She won't let us visit or help. I'm terrified she's being manipulated by outsiders or that she's ill and hiding it. I just want to take care of her the way she always took care of me." It broke my heart all over again seeing my daughter lie so convincingly, but Anna's cross-examination was masterful. "Ms. Thompson, when was the last time you invited your mother to your home for a visit that did not involve requesting money?" We were always close. Specific date, please." "I don't recall exactly." "Is it true you married without inviting your mother?" "It was a small private ceremony, and when she asked about it, your husband said it was only for really important people." That was POORLY worded. "Is it true your mother gave you $106,900 over 4 years?" she offered. We were struggling, and the moment she stopped, you entered her home uninvited with a lawyer to pressure her into signing power of attorney. We were worried. Anna entered the mountain of evidence, full bank records, security footage of the home invasion, threatening texts, wedding photos, showing Ethan's family, but not me. Ethan's testimony fell apart quickly. When asked how 2 adults in their late 30s couldn't pay an $800 mortgage supplement without constant help from a 72-year-old widow, he mumbled about bad investments and unexpected expenses. Their paid expert admitted under oath he had never examined me. His report was based solely on information provided by Sophia. Then it was our TURN. Dr. Hayes testified clearly. "Mrs. Harper exhibits no cognitive impairment whatsoever. Her decisions represent rational self-protection from documented financial exploitation." Witness after witness confirmed my independence, clarity, and the obvious financial motivation behind the petition. Finally, I took the stand. I looked directly at Judge Gomez and spoke from my heart. "Your Honor, I raised Sophia alone after her father died of cancer. I worked 2 jobs at times to give her everything: good schools, clothes, lessons, college. When she married Ethan, I welcomed him with open arms. I helped them financially because I loved them. Not because I was obligated, but love should never cost $106,900. And every shred of my dignity they excluded me from their wedding, while happily spending my money on it. When I finally said enough, they invaded my home and tried to take control. Now they want to strip away my legal rights because I dared to put myself first. I am not confused or declining. I am awake for the first time in years. The courtroom was completely silent. Judge Gomez deliberated for just 1 hour. When she returned, after thorough review of all evidence and testimony, this court finds absolutely no credible indication of incapacity in Mrs. Evelyn Harper. To the contrary, professional evaluation and documentation confirm she is fully competent, independent, and exercising rational judgment over her own affairs. Furthermore, the extensive history of substantial financial transfers followed by aggressive attempts to gain control when support ceased clearly indicates this petition was driven by financial self-interest rather than genuine concern. The petition for guardianship is denied with prejudice. All court costs to be paid by petitioners. Additionally, this matter is referred to Adult Protective Services for investigation of potential elder financial abuse. Sophia let out a shocked cry. Ethan turned ghostly pale. I didn't celebrate in the courtroom. I simply felt an overwhelming wave of relief and freedom. Outside, Sophia approached one last time, tears streaming. Mommy, please, we can still fix this. We're sorry. I looked at the young woman who had once been my little girl and felt only deep sadness for what we had lost. Sophia, I said softly but firmly, you fixed this the day you decided I wasn't important enough to be at your wedding. Goodbye. I never heard from them again. 6 months later, I sold the old house filled with both beautiful and painful memories, and I bought the small lakeside cottage I had secretly dreamed about for decades. With the money I saved by no longer supporting their lifestyle, and the money that remained, truly Minai finally traveled, saw the ocean in Maine, visited beautiful gardens in England, spent time in Georgia's childhood hometown in Ireland. I made wonderful new friends, other widows, retirees, kind souls who valued companionship and conversation over anything material. I joined a book club, took watercolor painting classes, began volunteering at the local library, teaching children to read. I donated a significant portion of my remaining savings to an organization that helps elderly people fight financial abuse because no mother, no grandmother should ever go through what I did. Some evenings, sitting on my porch watching the sun set over the calm water, I think about the old Evelenda one who believed love could be purchased with money and sacrifice. That woman is gone forever. I am 72 years old, healthier in body and spirit than I have been in decades, richer in peace and genuine relationships than ever before, and finally, truly loved by myself, by real friends, and by the beautiful memory of a husband who showed me what unconditional love really means. Love does not demand your life savings. Love does not exclude you from its greatest joys. Love does not try to declare you insane. When you finally say no, freedom is never free, but, oh, it is worth every single battle. If my story has touched you, made you cry, made you angry, or helped you see something in your own life, please consider supporting me with a donation so I can continue sharing these important stories. And please tell me in the comments, what would you have done in my place? Would you have found the strength to walk away? Or would you have forgiven? Where did you hear this story? Let me know, like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. There are so many more true stories waiting to be told. This is Evelyn Harper, signing off with a heart fuller than it has ever been. Until next time.